How y'all doing, everybody? I am James Hake. This is the Hake Report. It's Friday, April 22nd, 2022 AD. It's 9:01 a.m. U.S. Pacific Daylight Time here in Los Angeles. Gonna have a fun, loosey-goosey Friday show. How about that, everybody? I have some appearances to tell you about, possibly, possible appearances. Believe it when I see it, right? I know how you feel. I'm finally going to talk to Hunter Avallone about the systemic racism, something we've been talking about it since the beginning of the year. Well, after the first week of the year, anyway. And I may appear briefly on the Kill stream, Ethan Ralph's stream, ahead of the Nick Fuentes Mr. Medicare debate. And I'm going to talk today about evil human beings. You know, the women who love killing the babies in the womb for their own selfishness. So evil. And the gay agenda in schools. Even right here, right there in Glendale, California. Not to be confused with Arizona. And Detroit pushing the CRT, the fake notion of racism on the children. It's disgusting. And some other things to talk about. You can call in. I may touch on the federal land grabs and Joe Biden having the gall to call people who are against Disney targeting the kids and trying to change the Florida laws and who are trying to go after Disney in retaliation for that rather than propping them up. He's calling them far right. Give me a break. The far right's taking over the Republican Party. I wish. Give me a break. So lame. But anyway, guys, let's get right on with the show!
Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
Hey guys, we're gonna be talking about the ongoing attack on the children, as we've been doing it a lot. And shout out to Odyssey, YouTube, Facebook, D-Live, and all the other platforms. Nice to see you.
Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
So, how are you guys doing? I am fine. Hey, I just breathed through my nose. Are you proud of me, Lin Yun Chin? Lin Yun Chin gave a super chat and stated for you guys, hit the like. Yes, hit the like. I never tell you guys to hit the like. To help Lord Good Hair's follicles glisten in contest against the sparkles of Nightstand Nick and the luminous whiteness rays beaming out of Skateboard White Chris and his Galaxy Brain giant robot factory. Well, thank you, Lin Yun Chin. Appreciate that. Thank you for the support, as always. And shout out, by the way, to all the people. I have like a dozen people supporting me over there on the Subscribe Star. Nice. I have been putting out some exclusive content over there. Subscribestar.com/The Hake Report. We'll see how long it lasts. I don't hear about too many people being banned from there. So it should be a little bit more free speech friendly as opposed to Patreon. So we'll see what happens. But by the way, I am wearing my Knowledge is Poison t-shirt. It's been a little while since I wore it, so I decided, hey, let me wear this. Knowledge is Poison. That's available on the Hake Report Teespring store. Teespring.com/stores/The Hake Report. We'll redirect to it's now Creator-Spring. I don't know why they changed it, but whatever. TheHakeReport.com, and you can find appearances and a Teespring link or whatever you want to call it, and other things. The Hake News, the way to support via Subscribe Star. Thank you guys for supporting. Very nice. And I will read more of your super chats. Just wanted to get that one out there from Linya and Chin. Yeah, knowledge is poison. It's true. As the Bible says, knowledge puffs up, but love builds up. And people don't have that. People get so much knowledge, and it doesn't make sense what they start to believe based on that knowledge. No wisdom. No love either. Big day today, by the way. We have Hake right now, obviously. And then we have the Fallen State with that African preacher guy, pastor guy from Uganda. Uganda first. And then we have Nick's Stream at 4 p.m. Nick's Stream? Not Nick's Dream. Nick Stream. All one word, though. N-I-C-K, Stream. At 4 p.m. Pacific. And I didn't think of it, but I'm going to appear on Modern Day Debate at 4 p.m. Pacific. But catch Nick's stream, and maybe he will take a peek at my little debate. I'm finally going to debate I'll tell you about that. And then before that, I may go on the Kill stream. So that's cool. And then, of course, Church on Sunday. They're always excellent. And by the way, I heard that the Women's Forum was excellent yesterday. They usually are, right? Men's forums are cool. So right on. Check out this stuff over at Bond. Very cool. But yes, I'm finally, can you believe it? I'm finally going to be debating Hunter Avallone. That guy's been ducking me. And I don't know if he's been ducking me, but he took what he called a mental health break or something like that. Hunter Avallone, who was once a conservative, but a couple of years ago he turned liberal and couldn't be happier with his decision. So I'm going to appear on Modern Day Debate, and he's coming through after all. January 8th, I think it was, a Saturday. Modern Day Debate's James Kuntz contacted me way back at the beginning of the year and said, hey, would you like to, same day, would you like to appear on the debate platform, debate Hunter Avallone about is systemic racism real or systematic racism real? I'm like, sure. So I showered up, headed on over here. He couldn't make it. Then we rescheduled it once, rescheduled it again, and then he canceled because, he's taking a break from everything. In the meantime, I debated his wife about, is there a war on men? Carissa Avallone. Nice young lady. And then now Hunter's back. So that'll be cool. So you can there's audio podcast on Modern Day Debate, audio podcast, if you want to catch it afterwards. I do appreciate you guys joining in when you can. Thank you very much. Some of you guys are multitaskers, so you can catch both Nick's stream and Hake. I don't know how you guys do that. They say women are better multitaskers than men. And so that's interesting. But earlier at around 1 Pacific, my time, 4 Eastern, I'm scheduled briefly to join Ethan Ralph's Cozy stream. He's on Cozy and Odyssey, I think. Ethan Ralph. The Kill stream, along with many other guests throughout the day. All-day mega stream. Ahead of Nick Fuentes versus Mr. Medicare, whoever that is, debate. Which that's going to be not on the Kill stream, but that's going to be on Michael Alberto's Cozy channel. But I've been on the Kill stream before. Did you know that? It's not listed on the Hake report. Well, it is now. It's listed on my most recent blog post on the Hake report under appearances. All-day mega Kill stream filled with guests. 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern. That's a long stream, Ethan. He's a machine. I guess that Nick Fuentes and Mr. Medicare are going to debate something like, I think, what I gather, I'm not sure. Should people who are deplatformed, meaning kicked off of YouTube and all these other platforms, DLive and all that, should they flag people who are haters, slandering them on these major platforms? because I think Nick Fuentes is doing that. He's the guy who behind AFPAC, which we attended. Jesse Lee Peterson spoke there at AFPAC 3, America First Political Action Conference. And he's also the CEO of Cozy.tv, which one day I aspire to apply to and join, which would be cool. But yeah, I've been on the kill stream before. In 2019, I went. Shout out to Dylon making it happen. JLP did it in 2019 as well. He went on their kill stream along with Dick Masterson. There are recordings of JLP's appearances. I couldn't find the ones of mine. Oh, I did find one of them, maybe. Because I went with Jesse in 2020. But I have those all listed on the Hake Report. Dylon, my de facto producer, made those things happen. Some of those things happen. Very cool. All right. Anyway, let me tell you about this abortion mess going on right now. It's disgusting. And you guys can call in 888-775-3773. But I got this tip via Twitter DM. DC Drano shared this video. And this video is actually originally from Savannah Hernandez. 1N Savannah Hernandez. She was with, I think she was with InfoWars, and then she was with that guy, Slightly Offensive maybe? I don't know. She's interviewed Jesse before when she filled in for Owen Schroyer, if I'm thinking the same person. But anyway, this video's, the headline says, "Forget them kids." Except doesn't say forget, it says the F word. But I bleeped it out. Cover your eyes, kids. It has the F word with an asterisk. Pro-abortion women describing literal murder, writes DC Drano. Sometimes I forget how brainwashed people are by radical leftist propaganda. So this is a street interview by Savannah Hernandez, clip 12, from women sharing that they would get multiple abortions to men saying we should be able to kill babies, women should be able to kill babies up to 10 months after birth. One male said that. And so Savannah says, here are some of the craziest responses to California's proposed so-called infanticide bill, which I fact-checked yesterday with Twitter's fact-check. You know, far-left Reuters, PolitiFact, and some other outlet said, this is not infanticide. It's just saying that they won't, if the baby happens to die, they won't prosecute the women. Or if the women get an abortion, you can't prosecute the women. I don't know what the specifics are, but it is interesting what these ladies and female-minded males' reactions are. Presumably this was taped or recorded in California. Listen to this mess.
Basically, like if they have their baby, they can neglect them for 7 days, and if the baby dies, then they can't be held criminally liable. What do you think?
Yeah, I think whatever helps women and helps them achieve their dreams and however that needs to happen is definitely acts to help that is helping all of us. So
I prefer that most women make their decisions at 8 weeks, but I'm also in support of 10 months out of the womb.
So you think babies should be aborted 10 months after they're born?
If the mother wants to, yes.
I think f*** them kids. So if you want to get a late-term abortion, that's up to you. You know, I've had an abortion too, and it was my choice, and I'm happy I had that choice.
I've had an abortion myself.
Would you guys get an abortion again?
Yes.
100%.
100 times. I'd do it multiple times.
Until I feel that I'm ready as a parent, that's a choice I'll continue to make.
What a psycho, huh? A couple of psychos. A black and a purported white. Nasty, huh? Terrible. Their dreams? Yeah. And I don't know if this bill allows for neglecting a child to death. That's what Savannah said. And that's what it sounded like based on the language of the bill, but maybe it's not really the case. Kind of but who knows? Honestly, they're talking about killing babies anyway. They want to protect killing babies inside the womb. Hello? Well, that's not a baby, that's a fetus. Dumb. it's still a baby. I don't believe anybody slept with that wildebeest, says Lord H. Sizzle. Yeah, their hopes and dreams and their, yes, let's get women to have ambition. An ambitious woman, very attractive, right? Wrong. That's sick. It's pretty disgusting. You know how Tony from California, he called in saying, oh, over in Tennessee, those white Republican men want to marry 12-year-olds, 10-year-olds, or whatever he said. Because they said, oh, a marriage is only between a man and a woman. But they didn't specify the age. It was like, oh, usually a man and a woman means 18 and up. Or, never mind, I shouldn't say that. I was going to say 13 and up because, what is it, the 12-year-olds among the Jews, right? Once you're 12, you're a man. Something like that. But anyway, what a mess, huh? And so that's like a caricature of what the people who wrote the bill had in mind, right? It's a false interpretation. Maybe that's going on with this abortion bill, but they're still talking about killing the babies because that's what abortion is. And they did mention perinatal. Incidentally, if they die, let them die. I don't know. These people are pretty malicious and vicious, and you heard that male say, oh, up to 10 months later. Horrific stuff. I think in China, is it true that in China, because they had that one-child policy, they dehumanized the babies, right? They had that one-child policy for years, and they turned it to 2, and now I think it's 3, because they're not making enough. I think that they were drowning the girls because it was not desirable to have girls. If you can only have one, you want to have a boy. Whew. Psycho. Okay, so yesterday, if you're not aware, a federal judge, not a based Trump female judge, I bet, temporarily halted Kentucky's restrictive new abortion law. Louisville-based district judge, a woman, Rebecca Grady Jennings. What? It is a Trump appointee? Oh. I just had to eat my words. Glad I looked this up and didn't stick with that false conjecture. Whew. Sided with Planned Parenthood's Rebecca Grady Jennings. This woman. U.S. District Judge of the District Court for the Western District of Kentucky, 44-year-old woman. Born in 1978, 43 or 44, married to this Patrick Jennings guy, appointed by Trump in 2017, and replaced a male judge. And now she sided with Planned Parenthood's request to block Kentucky officials from enforcing the sweeping new law in Kentucky, which providers say essentially eliminates all abortion services in the state. Nice. Took effect after the legislature, GOP-held legislature, overrode a veto from the Democrat governor. What is that, Bashir? What's that guy's name? Bashir. Andy Bashir, Democrat. It banned most abortions after 15 weeks, and other requirements in this bill prevented the state's two abortion clinics in the state of Kentucky from performing the baby-killing procedure. So they plan to resume this week. An official with Planned Parenthood called it a win. I mentioned this in Hake News at the end of hour 2. But they're going to keep fighting for, listen to this, patients' right to basic health. Yeah, okay, baby killers. Andrew Graham Bashir, Beshear. What's wrong with these people? He was Attorney General of Kentucky. Kentucky's really hit and miss, isn't it? The beautiful South. has been subverted almost as bad as the rest of the country. Phew. Shout out to the beautiful South. I have my beautiful Southern flag. It is a patch. It's not a sticker. Some people think it's a sticker. It's a patch. Wow. Crazy. HB 3 created dozens of new requirements for abortion providers, regulations on medical abortion, additional patient reporting requirements, provisions dealing with the cremation or internment of fetal remains. Whew. So that expires in 2 weeks. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Planned Parenthood. Can we deport Planned Parenthood? Chris M is spitting. Says, be right back. I'm spitting. Man. Anyway. What a mess, huh? What a mess. Roe v. Wade is getting re-looked at, I hear, in the Supreme Court. I talked about that lawyer out of, what was that, Tennessee, maybe? Who said that he was fighting against Roe v. Wade, and it was a male who was working underneath a female attorney general, a female state attorney general, who let the man take the helm and argue in court. Nice. I love it. So by July, there will be a decision, supposedly, in the so-called Supreme Court. It's not conservative dominated, on the fate of Roe v. Wade. Within 3 months, we shall see. Crazy stuff going on in the world. Kentucky is a commonwealth. Terrible. Of course a baby will die if you neglect it after 7 days post-birth. Whew. What a mess. Anyway, I appreciate you guys joining here. I will be reading your super chats. In fact, let me read a few right now. Over there on streamlabs.com/The Hake Report, John WX25 states, tear him up, Hake. Talk to the blacks and trash the evil white lib devils. Thank you, John WX25. Your girlfriend says, the colored lady, I guess referring to, I surmise, referring to this clip from Savannah Hernandez, 1N in Savannah. The colored lady may have had an abortion, but judging by her bovine figure, it looks like she already had one. Had one kid? Not sure. Thank you, your girlfriend. Many times, mothers already have children when they get an abortion. Think about what they turn around and do to their children after they get that abortion, killing their conscience like that. Whew. I surmise, is that the right word? I speculate that the cruelty that you see in the black community and across in the world in general, in America in general, is exacerbated by these women who are just killing their babies and the males who are simping for them, killing their babies. Think about how that sears your conscience and just adds to the cruelty. And then they're raising boys, and those boys become criminals, and they do things that are quite cruel. They aren't my kin. Just kicking people in the face and all that stuff. Vicious people. But they want to feel sorry for the women. Give me a break. Lord Bibby 42 with another super chat. Good luck on the debate tonight, Hake. Hunter only uses surface-level arguments and hollow statements to his advantage. Call him out. Don't pity his idiocy. Send him back to another mental health break. He gonna learn today. Well, thank you, Lord Bibby 42. I appreciate it. Commander Kim says, we've already exported Planned Parenthood. U.S. is the biggest funder of foreign abortions. Wow. We will even withhold aid to third world countries if they won't accept our free abortions. Wow. Is that true? I wouldn't doubt it, especially under people like Obama, Clinton, and Sleepy Joe Biden. Phew. Some bills in several states restricting abortions. Has any state gotten rid of Planned Parenthood subsidies? Asks Taking Care of Business. They're still receiving funding and are allowed to operate in those same states. It's like trying to mop up the water on a patio while it's still raining. Yeah. Commander Kim says it is true. Hake, child abuse skyrocketed after abortion became legal. It put a dollar amount on the child's head. Yeah, you know, that reminds me of that article that I read about the collateral damage and the unforeseen consequences, side effects of Roe v. Wade. It expanded out of wedlock pregnancies. It expanded it. Because think about it, a woman, Dr. John R. Lott Jr. wrote this article, and I covered it before. A woman who now has the option of an abortion is all the more likely to be pressured by peer pressure, and it's acceptable to be having this sex out of wedlock. The male knows it, not man. The women know it, and they will do it more. It expanded all kinds of things. Viciousness. I was talking to one friend of mine yesterday, talking about how after Obamacare, you know, the so-called Affordable Care Act subsidizing so-called health care, really health insurance, so-called health insurance, premiums are up like 30, 40%. I wonder if it's thanks to that. Subsidizing things makes those things more expensive. Subsidizing housing makes housing more expensive. Subsidizing schools makes schools more expensive. Subsidizing, what is that stuff? Medicine and prescription drugs makes those prescription drugs more expensive, and all that regulation that they do. Over-regulation in some cases. Under-regulation perhaps in part. And people use the argument, Taking Care of Business says, do you really want women going back, doing back alley abortions and risking dying? I say yes, 100%. Yeah, because they're that evil that they have to do that. That's their choice. I thought you were pro-choice. Your girlfriend with the super chat says, Hunter is a very snarky and bitter person. Bitter person. Be aware of that. Once you finish the debate, you're going to question whether he's the husband or the wife in his marriage. Ouch. Thank you, your girlfriend. John WX25 says, isn't it ironic that the devils that push killing babies, their mother didn't abort them? Too bad, says John WX25. Wow, I disavow. Crazy stuff. Sick people. Women are such suckers. I just got a glimpse of some of my news report on the, what is that stuff? Climate hysteria? Climate hype? So lame. Okay, let me play another clip or two, guys. We have in schools the gay agenda, and it's a fact, and we all know it. I've protested in the city of Glendale before. I'm boycotting Glendale as of, 2013 or whenever it was, 2012. JLP protested over there because they got rid of the Glendale gun show. And instead, now in 2020, I think they had their first so-called gay pride parade. So they're replacing upstanding citizens who have guns and protect the country, help protect the country, with people who are degenerating the country. And now they're pushing it in schools. Glendale, California, home to a lot of Armenians who are purportedly Christians. And I have one clip of one Armenian lady who is speaking out against this LGBTIQ agenda in schools. Let me play this clip 11A. This is from Inside the Class _ on Twitter. Inside the Class. Emails obtained by parents in Glendale Unified School District show district employees coaching a third grade teacher, 8-year-olds, third grade teacher of 8-year-olds, on how to stay under the radar when teaching about so-called sexuality to her students. Female teachers, not a good idea. It's about 2 minutes and 20 seconds long. I know that it's kind of, I understand if you have trouble listening and following because it's a woman talking with her high-pitched voice and it's kind of grating on the ears, but she is reading good information. And reading is tough to listen to anyway because reading doesn't have as much life to it. But listen closely as much as you can because she's putting out pretty interesting information. Apparently, there was a FOIA request, Freedom of Information Freedom of Information Act. I don't know if it's FOIA anymore because FOIA is for the federal government. But anyway, it's like a sunshine request on the emails of school employees regarding what they're pushing on the kids. So listen to this clip 11A and it's apparently at a school board meeting or something because it's this woman who's speaking at a podium, apparently with people sitting in the back in a class, not a class, in a, I guess a school board meeting type of a situation. So listen to this woman, two and a half minutes long or less. Bear with me.
Dear board members and Superintendent Ikchin, as you're aware, I'm sure a packet of district emails was released to a GUSD parent on the basis of a public records request for all communications matching certain keywords such as CRT, LGBTQ, or queer, for example. What was discovered in this initial release was appalling and needs to be addressed ASAP by all levels of district leadership. For those of you who haven't seen these documents circulating on social media, I'll recap for you. On an email dated June 7, 2021, from Mrs. Tammy Tiber, a third grade teacher at Jefferson Elementary, to Sally Miles and Craig Lewis from the district's Teaching and Learning Department, Mrs. Tiber says, "Good morning, Sally and Craig. As you know, I teach third grade. Today I talked to my class about LGBTQ Pride Month and played 2 short videos from YouTube that were geared toward kids. A parent who heard the lesson and discussion made her daughter leave the Zoom and texted me asking when I was done discussing sexual orientation so that she can let her kids back onto Zoom. I was planning on doing more lessons tomorrow and Wednesday, but now I'm afraid to. Here are the videos and lessons I was going to do with my class. Of the YouTube video links she listed, here's an excerpt from one that she played for her 8-year-old students where an MTV host asks children questions about being gay and transgender. She says, Jodie Foster is a woman and she made me question my own sexuality when I was a child because I liked her so much. And she was nude in the film Nell. And sarcastically says, not that I remember watching it several times as a child, with a wink. During remote learning last year, a parent heard what was being shown and taught to her 8-year-old child on Zoom, immediately turned off the computer and contacted the teacher, which resulted in the worried email Ms. Tiber sent to district personnel. Exactly 21 minutes later, after sending the email, Mrs. Tiber received a response from Mr. Craig Lewis, part of district staff, that said, "Do not be concerned or afraid. Your principal should support you, as I know that our district, including Vivian, does," end quote. This district staffer goes even further and gives more media recommendations to the teacher, but says to steer clear of content that says sexual or coming out, since it may raise red flags. In other words, coaching this teacher on proven methods to push her agenda, but to stay under the radar. Immediately after the release of this email chain, the parents at Jefferson Elementary who have had Ms. Tiber as their child's teacher reached out to the principal and demanded answers. Why is gender and sexuality issues being taught to 8-year-olds to begin with? With the tremendous loss of learning our children experienced the past 2 years.
Crazy, huh? So thank God, I guess, because the parents are so dumb they're still sending their kids to public schools. Or selfish or whatever you want to call it. Or ignorant. Don't know any better. Thank God for the shutdowns, am I right? The China virus shutdowns that kept the kids at home. So finally, the parent actually pays attention to what's being said. Because a student is staying at home now, an 8-year-old kid staying at home, sitting on the computer or whatever, and having a Zoom meeting on the computer, and the mother overhears, I guess, YouTube videos of MTV hosts. I don't know if she covered the MTV host, talking about watching Jodie Foster, who's an actress, old actress. Now she's not morally straight, I don't think. Is she normal white? She doesn't act like one. Doesn't act like a very Christian. But naked, Jodie Foster naked on film. Avoid this Craig Lewis guy who's supposedly a district worker says, avoid content that says sexual or coming out because that may raise red flags. Teach this mess to the kids, but avoid the parents. Avoid getting caught by the parents. So here's another clip, clip B. Apparently after this woman talked, there's this other apparently Christian woman. I believe this woman is Armenian based on her name and her look. And it's in Glendale, come on. This Christian woman says this teacher was teaching LGBTQ topics in her class 3 days a week. And she makes an interesting point. These kids, these children, not kids. Kids are baby goats, right? These children lost a lot of like learning and stuff like that because of the shutdowns. They weren't learning as well. But they're still pushing this sexual agenda on them. Listen to this Christian woman talk. It's about 2 minutes and 15 seconds long. Bear with me again. I know this woman's voice is maybe even more annoying than this first woman who was not that annoying, but she was reading, so it's kind of hard to pay attention. But listen closely, and here it is.
Good evening. My name's Anita Karpakian, and I'm here to bring awareness to the emails that had surfaced earlier this month. The one I find most disturbing of all is of a third grade teacher trying to talk about sex with 8-year-old students. These are 8-year-old children that she is trying to hold a sexual orientation class with. A parent shared their concern and their objection to it and pulled their kid out. And instead of this teacher being concerned of what she did wrong, she goes to a district employee and asks for ways of how she can continue to teach sexual orientation to her third grade class.
Crazy.
You guys want us to believe that this isn't a propaganda, that no agenda is being held? This wasn't just any sexuality class. This was specifically designed 3 days a week. She taught LGBTQ curriculum in her class. It raises the question, how many of those students are excelling in that classroom? Is everybody in that class getting A's in math, English, grammar, social studies? That we can dedicate 3 days a week to teach 8-year-olds about sexual orientation? I don't care what kind of sex is being discussed. The word sexuality, nudity, does not belong in the ears in a classroom of 8-year-old kids. And when a parent showed their concern, what does this teacher do? Completely disregards and goes behind the parent's back trying to find ways of how to continue these lesson plans?
Psycho. That's evil.
The level of disrespect that has been shown to Christian conservative parents is becoming very obvious. The board is not listening to what we are saying. Because if you guys want to talk about including all, listening to all, every student matters, our kids matter too. And we don't want those subjects being taught to children who are just 8 years old. And the topics get worse and worse and the subjects get more detailed. And I'm sorry, are we doing Bible studies in classrooms? No, we're not, right? So why is this a certain agenda being pushed into the classrooms?
We need men talking about this stuff, but she's right. What a mess, huh? Terrible. What a sick world. And it should be not even just for your own children. It should be just, you're supposed to be looking out for the people around you. The children around you. And it's dumb, blind, brainwashed young so-called teachers in their like early mid-20s who are pushing this stuff on the kids. And the fake racism thing, I'll get to that. Psycho. I said psycho. I wasn't talking about this mother who was talking. Just so you know. You guys know I talk about these women hard. I like for men to be standing up against this stuff. They have more authority, naturally. Quick super chat from Jordanos. They keep having babies after babies off the taxpayers' expense. They don't care about the child's well-being. Getting government assistance is being lazy. Meanwhile, Massa is working me to death. But TGI Friday, that's thank God it's Friday. Or thank goodness it's Friday. Yeah. Where are the fathers in these meetings? Asks Commander Kim. Yeah, I know. The heck? They're busy. Because they, especially in California, they made it so that the housing costs are like way off the charts. The rent is too dang high. And you're lucky if you can even buy anything. Or fortunate, let's say. It's not luck. And so they have to be working. But yeah, they should be getting involved. They should make a way. The fathers should be the ones doing it. And then take them out of the school, but still raise hay. I kind of liked seeing Proud Boys guys showing up to these meetings. Nice. They're saying, oh no, Proud Boys are showing up to these meetings. Intimidation. Give me a break. That's all they ever do is intimidate us. They try to intimidate us. You know, the lefties? The anti-child people? It's sick, man. Let me get to Emmanuel in Canada. Emmanuel, how are you doing? Thanks for holding.
Oh, not too bad, man. Just taking a walk downtown. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Sweet. So the other day, I still can't forget that I sound like I have a fat voice. I'm out here walking, trying to lose weight. So thanks for inspiring me. Anyway.
Okay.
So
right on.
I called into the JLT show the other day, and then he's telling me to stay out of your thoughts, right? And I thought that I was doing good at that, but apparently I'm not doing as good as I thought, because I go to look at the segment of the show because somebody wanted to hear it. So I go looking for it, and I can't find it anywhere, right? And then I start getting these thoughts like, oh, they cut you out of the show. You must be so annoying that they just don't even want you on the show.
That's crazy, man. That's insane.
I know, and then I was aware that it was just a stupid thought in my head, but it's still happening, right? But that awareness is better than actually buying into it. But I almost bought into it. I was like, oh, you've been calling in, and they're so annoyed by your nonsense that they cut you right out of the show.
That's ridiculous, man.
I know. Anyways, that's just a prime example of how your thoughts can, the devil uses your thoughts against you to try to convince you of things that aren't true.
Yeah, that's so true. I remember different times that I've dated, and a woman will just take something that you said and just make up something from it, totally misinterpret it, and then just be mad at you, just out of her own imagination, thinking that something is real.
That literally just happened to me with that lady friend of mine that I was seeing.
How embarrassing.
I sent her a nice kind letter saying I understand or whatever, and then she goes, "You violated my boundaries," or something, and I'm just like, what?
Well, you can't play nice with them.
No, you can't.
It's honestly like our fault for being nice and weak.
Yeah.
Our being guys is fault.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Pick up the pace, fat body, says Point Fire.
Hey, man, be nice, man. No, oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
So this is crazy. This woman that I'm with this woman about, not talking about, these teachers are just losing it. They sound like they're declaring some sort of national emergency because people won't accept their pronouns. It's like, are you serious? This is so pathetic and stupid. But they're just like, oh, I'm so offended that you won't call me my pronouns. Wild times.
Yeah, people are so, the narcissism. Narcissism, is that the word for being all into yourself? Thinking, or having this
selfish,
carried away with the ego?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So another thing that's going on right now in this town is I had, I don't know if I brought it up before, but there's a local that I used to be on good terms with, or at least we had respect for one another. And then he saw a screenshot of something I said to a non-binary individual about how he should turn to Christ and get out of his situation because it's confusing him and it's confusing other people.
Uh-huh.
And so he sent this screenshot to a bunch of people in my town, and now everybody's running around calling me a misogynistic homophobe. I hate women.
Cool.
Just making up all this stuff, trying to defame my character, or whatever, defamation of character, I guess you call it.
Yeah.
But years ago, I would have been like destroyed by that, right? But now that I see the light, it's actually highly entertaining.
Yeah. Make sure you just keep your eyes on yourself. Watch yourself, how you react to things.
100%. Yeah.
And then you'll, if anybody confronts you about any of this stuff, you'll handle yourself well, and maybe other people can see that good example.
Yeah,
You know
I'm
what I mean?
into farming and gardening, Hake, and there's this local farmer around here that I was willing to help him out, and I wanted to help him on the farm, but he's bought into these lies about me. And so the other day, I posted some pictures of some crosses in front of a church, right? After Easter. And he replied to my post of these crosses with a death metal song that was called "God Hates Us All." and I was like, yeah, if your God is Satan, that's for sure. And then he starts going off on me, and it just turned into this ridiculous thing. I should have blocked him, but I thought it was entertaining, and I wanted to see how far he would take it.
Oh, man.
So it got to the point where he said he's going to the cops, and he insulted me and just like trolled me. And then at the end of the conversation, he said, "You know, man, I'm really concerned for you. You're going through a mental health crisis. I really feel bad for you. I'm so sorry I can't help you." And then he said, "There's a lot of people in this town that are very concerned for your potential to cause carnage and potentially kill people." And I was like, what?
Yeah. That's evil, man.
It's pure evil, man.
Don't play with these people.
No, I'm staying away.
No, but you were playing with it because you were talking about seeing how far he would go.
You're right.
You shouldn't be.
I'm wrong for
I don't
doing
think that you should be posting this stuff on social media or interacting with these people online.
Well,
if
I
they're
was
from
just
your
posting-
town, interact with them in person if you run into them, but not
Here's
online.
the funny part, Hake, is that after he trolled my post that I was just posting because I believe in Christ and I was just sharing some nice pictures, I said, "Why don't you come and talk to me in person like a civil adult?" And he just refused. I tried to call his phone. He didn't answer. He said, "I don't want to waste my time on you. I don't want to waste my voice on you." But meanwhile, he's blowing up my social media with text. It just makes no sense. He has no guts to face me, you know?
But I don't even think that it's wise to try to talk to him in person. Why do you need to talk to him in person? Who cares?
I guess I'm still a little bit concerned about the ruining of my character. It's a small town, right? But I might just have to move out of here. I don't know.
The more you do, the worse you make it for yourself. You're trying to chase him down and I guess talk with him in person or this dark blind person when he has no interest. Just let it go. Let the opportunities to tell the truth come to you. You don't seek them out like that.
No, you're right.
Because everything that you're doing is making it worse for you. Where you're going to be driven out of your own town.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even necessary. You kind of remind me of me 10, 12 years ago because I was on Facebook a lot and I was like alienated all my friends, a bunch of my friends on Facebook because I was
so-called friends. Yeah.
Yeah, they're so-called friends, but you're not a friend to them either, you know? Because you yourself are blind and full of ego. You just have a glimpse of the truth, and so you want to share that glimpse of truth. But really, you need to just keep on seeking within and growing and become mature.
100%. Hake is on fire.
Well, I appreciate your calls. They're interesting, Emmanuel.
Yeah. It's an interesting life, interesting world to live in, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, I remember I made a joke one time. I've told this before. Because my friends, friends of friends and some direct friends were doing these mass texts, and I had a flip phone at one point. And two of them, there's always those two guys who just mass text everybody, and they're just joking around, and it's obnoxious. And at that point, it was before, I didn't even have a smartphone, it was a flip phone. And so I'm all, stop, you guys better cut out the mass texts or there's going to be a mass shooting.
Whoa.
And my dumb flip phone sends it individually to each person in the thing rather than to the group.
Wow.
So, and then I just left it. I'm like, haha, that's funny. And
Oh, God.
then weeks later, I found out that people took it seriously. They went behind my back and talked to other people. And so a bunch of my Asian friends like cut me off. Like, oh, Hake is going to be a mass shooter.
Wow.
And so
Yeah.
you can't even joke around with these people. Don't play like that.
I know. There's a couple people that I told about the situation. They're like, "Well, you should just troll them back." I was like, "No, that's not a good idea."
Yeah. Nice. Well, I wish you well, Emmanuel. Check in again.
Yeah.
And
Okay, will do.
Watch your back. Head on a swivel.
Okay, is the Anchor Baby show still going on, or did he stop?
Yeah, he's been going. Nick stream every Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific. He changed the name of his channel from Anchor Baby's new show to Nick Stream, lowercase n.
Nice.
Nick
I'll
Stream.
put it on. I'll put it on when I'm at work tonight, chopping vegetables up.
Right on. Cool. All right. Good luck,
All right.
Emmanuel. Take care.
Yeah, you too. Take care. Bye.
All right. Bye. What a mess. Get it? Mass text, mass shooting. What a mess. Okay. A couple of chats over here that caught my eye. He said, who said it? Was it Brandon M or Taking Care of Business? Hold on. Searching Anchor Baby show still gets to Nick's channel, at least at the moment, for the moment. Oh, Taking Care of Business said, this all started, meaning this school agenda propaganda. This all started when the schools banned Dodgeball. Yeah, remember that? Dodgeball was like one of my favorite games at recess. And it wasn't that inside the gym gay Hollywood, not morally straight Hollywood Dodgeball like the movie. No, I didn't watch that movie. I only saw the preview. And I wish I hadn't even seen that. But no, it was cool. But they got rid of it because they want to just overprotective mama mindset. Same reason that they shut down the schools, which turned out to be a blessing in disguise because finally parents woke up to the fact that they're making the children woke, which means asleep and spiritually dead. Brandon M. with a chat on Odyssey, regular chat, says parents should let their kids listen to the Hake report. The worst they'll hear is the word stupid. and bad takes from Bobby. Another side comment jab at his fellow Texan Bobby from Texas, who calls into my show pretty frequently. Shout out to Bobby. Yeah, and that's not bad. Those aren't bad things to hear now and then. There is a time to say stupid. Maybe I say it too much and dumb and other things like that. But yeah, I think that children should listen to the Hake Report, the Jesse Lee Peterson Show, and go out and play and work. Right? Right. Don't be going to these schools. They get more heads in the schools, meaning more illegals even. Illegal children means more money from them, from the state and from the federal government, I think. So wrong. I have another clip to share with you on this school propaganda. This is clip 13. It's another one from inside the class, and I think they got it from the Twitter handle Courage Habit. Inside the class _ on Twitter mockingly states CRT is not being taught in K-12 schools, kindergarten through 12th grade. Stop saying that it is. Oh, wait. This is Dr. Nikolai Vitti, who, according to Inside the Class _ is the superintendent of Detroit, Michigan, Detroit Public Schools, saying that CRT is deeply embedded in their curriculum. Minute and a half clip here, and you'll hear this Nikolai Vitti. I don't know what type of event this is. It's like a meeting or a conference or something. And you can see, if you're watching the video, you'll be able to see like a projection on the screen. You can barely see anything. But listen to his voice talking about deep CRT being, the critical race theory mess. And he's for it. And he's against the state, I guess the state of Michigan, outlawed CRT in schools. Listen to this. You have the clip 13. Cool.
And restarting it in January. Critical race theory, unfortunately, has passed the House in order to be banned from use in schools. And if school districts do use it by memory, it would bring a financial penalty to the district. Our curriculum is deeply using critical race theory, especially in social studies, but you'll find it in English language arts and the other disciplines. We were very intentional about creating curriculum, infusing materials, and embedding critical race theory within our curriculum. As was stated by many speakers today, it's because students need to understand the truth of history, understand the history of this country, to better understand who they are, and about the injustices that have occurred in this country. We have led a process of 81 letters written to the legislature against the proposed legislation. That was mainly done by our teachers. When critical race theory passed the House, the Democrats walked out because they were not able to give public comment or comment opposing the legislation.
Ridiculous, huh? And it's all a phony propaganda smearing the whites. Smearing the whites. America was founded on slavery and genocide. Give me a break. That Howard Zinn propaganda that you hear blacks calling in all the time saying, oh, slavery and genocide. You've heard me debate against that guy who is now a cozy streamer, by the way, who was banned on Twitch for pushing alleged Russian propaganda, Russian misinformation. But he was banned on Twitch. Haas. Infrared? Haas? He's now on Cozy. Nice. I'm happy about that. But he believes, he's a young guy, atheist. I think he might have been raised Muslim. This guy Haas, Infrared. I debated him months back on Modern Day Debate about communism versus capitalism or something like that, or is communism on trial? And this guy was like supposedly a pro-America, or at least patriot-friendly communist. And he is indeed atheist. I think he's Lebanese. Haas. I've met him. Nice guy. But he jumped on it when I said the Democrats today are much worse than the slave masters of back before before the War of Northern Aggression, the war between the states, the so-called Civil War. And he believed that fake propaganda, too, that, oh, American slavery was the worst form of slavery in the world ever. Please. I doubt that. I know that there may have been some, when they castrate these people. I'm not for that type of a thing necessarily, unless it's like in punishment for a crime, I guess. If it's understood that that's what happens, to an actual rapist, legitimate rape, forcible rape. Not talking about this stuff that everybody, they're trying to call anybody a rapist nowadays. Ridiculous. But I know that there were some cruel things. It was cruel times. It was tough days. They lived tough lives. We live these cushy lives judging the slave owners. Give me a break. I don't judge them. Yeah, I call it the so-called Civil War because it was the War of Northern Aggression, the war between the states. The South wanted to secede. The North didn't want to respect that. And so they fought them and killed 600,000 Americans to keep the country together. And I think that slavery was I hear that slavery was on its way out anyway. But they want to push this stuff, genocide on the Indians, American Indians. You've never met like a nicer, more welcoming people than the whites, right? Too nice, too welcoming. Including even the so-called conservative whites, honestly. Just treat the other people well. But it's seen as a weakness, and so they get pushed around for it. And that's what this evil guy, Nikolai Vitti, who's supposedly superintendent of Detroit Public Schools. And I saw this meme, this Nikolai Vitti. I saw this meme shared by on the Detroit thing. Courage is a habit. Courage Habit tweeted this meme on Nikolai Vitti. I call it a meme, but it's basically information. Detroit Public Schools Community District, and they give his, public email and office phone number. Tenure 2017 to present. Detroit Public School Community something district has a 98% black student body. This guy doesn't look black. Doesn't even look or sound or have an American name, by the way. 98% black student body. That's high. According to this, I don't know if it's true, but I wouldn't think that he would give bad information. 12% math proficiency, 18% reading proficiency, but they're pushing the hatred of whites and the blame of whites, especially the white founding fathers who were better men than most of us. Certainly better men than any of these people pushing this stuff. And they're just smearing them. And they call it CRT. Oh, it's a way of looking at what happened. Social studies, English, language arts, they're putting all that. They're inserting this anti-white, anti-Christian, anti-American, atheistic, Marxist, which is atheist, propaganda. And Florida even banned CRT in math books. Something like 53 out of 130 something books or so books, math books, having that mess in there. Having this attack on the whites. Brainwashing the kids. Misguided, female-minded, including the males. Sick people. Anyway. Let me not get too carried away. We got some calls to get to. I have calls to get to. Hang tight, callers. We are over the top of the hour. It's time for some music. Frog Eyes. Shall we listen to some Frog Eyes, guys? You musical Philistines. This is track 5. Song number 5, if you want to call it a song. On the album The Golden River. And that is not a dirty reference. Don't be like that, guys. And it's a 2003 album, A Latex Ice Age. Hope you enjoy it. It's more like calm. It even has some female vocals, so there you have it. You're gonna like it. Here is Frog Eyes, A Latex Ice Age, and I'll be right back for the rest of hour 2. Hang tight, guys.
What's California with them streams and the creeks running down to the sea? Ooh, let me see. I love a latex and ice age, sanded upon the pine sides and chewed out of feathers, and with the children of the land, though the ice is repulsive to
Isn't this great? No? I hear deflating balloons right now. You're right. So good. Don't you love the drama? Was this recorded while he was being castrated? That's messed up. Does it have Bruce Jenner vocals? Someone crushed his... Never mind, I shouldn't read that. This is slow motion drive-by music. That gave me a visual. Thank you, a boy with no face. Shout out, man. I should get paid for this mess. Please no music, Hake. It's terrible. Hake's music is terrible. The music where dreams go to die. Muted. I'm pressing charges for ear molestation. What is this sound? The guy having an aneurysm? Wow. Nails on a chalkboard. There was a funny statement that I saw, but I don't remember. Not feeling this song, says Mark97. Is this Leah Thomas singing? William, that's Will to you. Maybe I read it. Maybe it was funnier the first time I saw it. But anyway, thank you guys for the bearing with me through hostile vibe. Who's squeezing his... I can't finish that sentence, but funny, very funny. Thank you guys for bearing with me through that beautiful music. I really liked it. And I will get to your calls. Let me read a super chat or two, guys, because we need to keep this going. Commander Kim, thank you, with a super chat, says, my husband has a term called chimping. If owners are too nice to pet chimpanzees and don't occasionally beat them, the chimp will think they're the boss and will attack, maim, and even kill their owners. Therefore, pets, children, women, and employees need occasional beatings for everyone's safety, says Commander Kim. Yeah, you can't be weak with people. That is so true. And, man, yeah. So Commander Kim's husband has a term called chimping, which happens when you don't put the smack down. Thank you. Thank you, Commander Kim. Very informative. Now that's a smart woman. Or a learned woman, which is respectable, right? Taking care of business says VT is Italian, Northern Italian. So the guy running Detroit, these Detroit schools, is so-called white. Oh man, I know, but that's not Nikolai VT. That's not an American white. I think it's from Venice area originally. Says taking care of it. Send him back. He has to go back. And I don't care if he's not Moorish. He's black-hearted on the inside. He's talking about, oh, CRT. I almost want to play that clip again because I kind of tuned it out because I already heard what he said. But towards the end, he's like, oh, our students need to know what racism came from or something like. I don't know what he said. The racist history of our past, or some dumb thing, right? I almost, don't make me play it again. Okay, so bad. Captain David, with the super chat, states, the slavery narrative is so easy to debunk. People, especially whites, just have to stop being weak. Yeah. And I will never apologize for slavery. And I will never get all melodramatic about how bad it was. Please. Oops, I spit. Getting a little carried away. Shout out to King Drop. Like, he catches me when I say, oops, I spit. Give me a break. You never had it so good. Except spiritually, you've perhaps never had it so bad. Spoiling is bad for the spirit. Spoiling leads to chimping. Lin Yen Chin with the super chat says, pizza funds, hug, laggy redacted, or lady redacted, good hair, and tell her pizza isn't the end of the world. Nice. Thank you, Lin Yen Chin. Appreciate that. Appreciate the support. And Lin Yen Chin with another super chat. I hear that plantations in the chattel slavery days, were more efficient than slave plantations. The slaves could only pill 90% of the productivity, which is pretty good for a 3/5, meaning a black, right? But isn't optimal eyes of resources. Isn't optimalized of resources. I'm not sure. There's maybe typos. Our slavery was just apprenticeship. Yeah, and they learned pretty good skills. They learned to work. And, you ever heard JLP describe about wringing a chicken's neck or slaughtering a boar or pig or something like that? Some pretty cool skills. Or burying, sweet potatoes or something like that, or potatoes underneath the hill thing. That's some cool stuff that you learn on the job. Apprenticeship. Respectable. The slaves had more dignity than maybe most people today. They didn't have the pornography so much, I bet. They didn't have the complainer, victim mindset. They had their families together many times. Some cases they were sold off and separated, but that's no fault of their own. At least they still had their conscience and their souls together, which is better than somebody choosing to leave or being like, I can't deal with this woman. I laid down with her, I made a baby with her, but I can't deal with this woman. Which is understandable, but it's not good. And I will, Ryan ate you. I will never apologize for pineapple on pizza. Yeah, it's good. Not always, but yes, it's good. Okay, let me get to Jeff in Louisiana. He's been on the line for some time now. Jeff in Louisiana, thanks for holding. What's up?
Hey, man, I just want to comment on your first video. It's more about the abortion thing.
Yeah.
Okay, my thing is, I'm pro-life. I'm not for abortion, but if a woman can decide at 9 months or 7, some states are trying to pass a law to 7 days after that the child, their hopes and dreams depend on this, they will kill the child, that's fine. If they want to debate that, why can a man say, well, I don't pay child support, and that screws in my hopes and plans. So
yeah.
So that's why I want to debate. Why can a man say that if a woman can't say that?
I know. Yeah.
It's just screwed up. It's just like,
It is so backwards. It's kissing up to women. It's special treatment for the females to let them kill the baby, and if they keep the baby, to keep the baby away from the man and force him to cough up a bunch of money.
Yeah.
And she doesn't even use the money on the baby. She uses it for her acrylic nails.
For her way of living.
Yeah.
It's like there's all they trying to pass in New York. They just try to pass it all in New York actually where
Slow down for me, Jeff. I didn't understand what you just said. You said something New York.
Okay, well, New York is a different one, but there's a law on the books. Well,
a law.
If 7 days after a baby is born, if you starve to death, it's considered abortion.
I have heard that. I don't know what the specifics are. I haven't looked into them, but abortion is wrong no matter what.
It's basically if you malnourish a baby after 7 days is born, it's abortion. But they're trying to. What I was saying about New York is they're trying to pass a law in New York where after 10 months, if you don't want the baby, you kill it.
Oh, really? That's what that guy said. He was for that.
Yeah, man. It's just asinine.
Yeah, it is.
it's a life. I mean, but man, I ain't gonna hold you up, man. I got things to talk about, but I ain't gonna hold you up today because I know it's getting the end of the hour. But
Well, no
it's just
problem,
like-
Jeff. Appreciate hearing from you. It's good to hear from you.
Have a good man. Have a good one, man.
All right. Take care. Whew. Let me get to Josh in New Jersey. Josh in New Jersey, how are you?
Hey, James, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you great. Thank you.
Awesome. And it's John.
John, John?
Yes, sir.
Cool. Thanks, man.
All good. I got a question for you. So, what does it look like when a man loves God more than he loves his wife or girlfriend or what have you? What does that look like?
Man, that looks like, I imagine that looks like peace on earth. And I think that we've maybe, that is like heaven, because that's perfect. And I think that I've seen some men who are coming along in that way, who have like come to men's forums and come to church and stuff like that. I think I've seen examples of men who are if they're not doing that, they're like on the path, right? And that is the way to be. I totally salute that. I love that.
Yeah, no, my question specifically is practically.
Okay, practically, what does it look like?
What does it look like?
Okay, because I'm like, that's heaven, that's perfect.
In your opinion, if you can think of it. It's a tough question to answer, so I get if you don't have an answer.
It's kind of like a spirit thing, a spiritual thing. Like in the man doesn't have this impulse or does not heed any impulse. He gets separated from this impulse to be all pleasing to the woman, to like chase after the woman, to be devastated if the woman doesn't stay with him or whatever. You know, the woman can like be very so-called loving and respectful, or it can be just totally disrespectful and evil. You know how women are fickle, right? If he's not swayed, he's not swayed by that. You know, he lets her do her hell, and he's not affected by it. He just stays right and stays calm. I mean, he'll deal with her right, and isn't afraid of losing her or whatever. One of the things Jesse has said was a man should never ever try to please a woman or hold on to her. So he's not trying to hold on to her, and he doesn't follow that impulse to make her God, because that's basically what the world tries to make you do, or Satan tries to make you do, make her into God, which is so wrong, you know? And it turns her away from you, really. Makes her hate you even more, and she'll start chimping. Because you have to spiritually put this smack down. So
that's so funny. Dude, that's such an amazing answer, man, because guess you'll say that all the time, right?
Stay close to your phone. You're coming in a little quiet.
Okay.
Better. That's better. Good.
Yeah, that's such an amazing answer you just gave, because I've been meaning to call into Jesse's show to ask him that, because that's something that I just didn't get. It's taken me about a year to really understand that for myself, not just intellectually, but to actually see it.
Yeah.
And I think it's good that listeners of your show also consider that. Just because you hear Jesse say all the time to love God more than anyone else, anything else. And then I know that other people can relate to this. When I hear him say that, in the past I would think, oh, do I love God more than anything else? And then then the next thought becomes, what does that look like? And then you kind of feel this emotion inside of you, as if, okay, it would look like this emotion, and then you got to catch yourself, because obviously, you know, if you listen to you or Jesse long enough, you know that's not real love.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much where that question came from, and I think it's a good question for your listener. All I want to say, and that'll be done because I figure you got other calls.
Yeah, no problem.
But it's an important question for everybody listening to this show to ponder, since you talk more about the physical things going on with society,
right,
between the races, the news story and stuff like that. And we all have to realize for ourselves that, because I fell into this for so many years, we can judge liberals, we can judge homosexuals, these people that we disagree with intellectually, because what they do or what they say we don't think is right. But if we're having sex out of wedlock, or if if the woman's still our God as men, but we keep going on about the liberals are doing this and blah blah blah, and these Republican conservative talking points, we're really no better,
right?
If you think about it, because privately, it's like we intellectually disagree and we think we're virtuous, but really at the end of the day, it's like sin is sin, vice is vice. If I'm having sex out of wedlock, I'm no better than the homosexual doing their homosexual stuff, or than the liberal pushing for affirmative action.
Right.
And so you can never judge, but it's like at the end of the day, I don't know if I could say this on the radio, but it just becomes mental masturbation.
Yeah.
And so we can't get too caught up with all the political stuff if we haven't really truly overcome our fallen state. And that's all I want to say. Hopefully, maybe just one person will consider that. I got caught up in that for a while. Just being so critical of the libs and all that. But I was living wrong, right?
Very true. Yeah, it's good to still, even if you are stuck in your mess, to still like fight evil. But yeah, you're right. Don't get all puffed up on it. Like I said, knowledge is poison. Knowledge puffs up, but love builds up.
Completely.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Nice, man. Appreciate it. Great call.
Exactly. Thank you. Great job talking. You guys talking with Shiloh yesterday.
Oh,
that
yeah.
Was a fantastic call. It
cool.
Was so that was such a funny conversation, man. I was podcasting that this morning.
Nice.
And I was just laughing out loud. You guys really did a great job being playful, but like serious with him and not taking it personally. Because he did say some stuff that he was a little too trapped in his head. I thought that he did a great job with his questions. So if he's listening, great job, man.
Right on.
Really good job. Also, just wanted to know if you guys think that there's a potential for a men's conference this summer or not.
I don't know. We shall see. Hoping for it, but we're hoping to move as well. So
yeah. So
we just don't know what's
going on.
What it is. So
amazing.
Yeah.
Hey, great answer. Thank you for taking my call, and have a great weekend.
You too, John. Take care. That's cool. Brandon M. says, I'm glad Hake can decipher mumbles. That's the prior caller, Jeff from Louisiana, whose nickname, according to him, is Mumbles. Yeah, it's funny. I thought of something, but I forgot what I was going to say. Let me get to Greg, a first-time caller in Texas. Greg, how are you doing?
Hey, what's going on? Hey, how you doing, man?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm all right. Can you hear me good?
I can hear you fine, yeah.
All right. Yeah, man, I want to ask you a question, man. I don't know what's going on in, like, California. First, thanks for taking my call. You know, show some respect to y'all. I like you and Jesse. Y'all great. Listen, what do you, I don't know what's going on in California, but do you see, like, a rise in women barbers cutting men's hair?
I don't go to the barber shop. I cut my own hair, so I have not noticed that. I don't go to the barber shop.
Oh, okay, because I grew up going to barber shop.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was always men cutting men's hair, but, like, I think, like, in the past, like, couple of years now, I'm starting to notice a rise in women. For white men, a lot of white liberal women are cutting men's hair, and then in the black barbershops are, like, I guess, I mean, this might sound crazy, but, like, in the past, like, there's no way in the world I would let a gay man cut my hair. You know what I mean? It was just something off about that. That's how it was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then there are a bunch of big black women, they cutting hair. So I was just noticing that. You know, I was like, wow, like, even in the white population, like, I've seen it in black communities, but I started seeing it in white communities, and they got red and pink hair, and a lot of homos say they're cutting men's hair.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that was kind of different because, you know, that was where we went to be men, you know. So,
right.
Yeah, so I was wondering if have you or Jesse experienced that?
As far as Jesse goes, he's like sometimes I know his barber's a dude, so I don't know, but yeah, I haven't noticed that, at least not in California, but I don't really go to the barbershop, so I couldn't tell you. Have you noticed women barbers at barbershops at all, Chris?
I don't really go to a barber shop.
That's for sure. Look at him. Just put him on screen.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I mean, my personal experience, I will say this, and I'm not trying to be contrarian or anything like that. One of the best barbers I had was an old Asian woman.
Okay.
In Koreatown. And again, call me a libertine or a cosmopolitan.
Yeah.
The woman that has been cutting my hair over the past several years now is not an old Asian woman, but is an Asian woman. Again, this is just, maybe it's TMI, but she was just a friend of mine. She worked at a really fancy salon in a fancy part of town. And again, I'm just that's the most cosmopolitan thing about me is the haircut thing. So I'm a bad example.
Is she going to have a place in the Ethnostate?
No, certainly not.
She will get deported and you'll have to learn it.
Yeah, let's not go crazy. But that's just how it is. She cuts my hair. She's Asian.
Yeah. Right.
Wow. Well, I did something a little different. I just wanted, the Bible says test the spirits, and I wanted to test this one place because I never had a woman cut my hair, and I just wanted to see what it's like, and it just happened to be a white girl, and so. Like back in the day, like you could talk about everything. Everything was on the table to talk about, and I just wanted to see what she thought about immigration in America. I'm a black man. I just want to talk about immigration in America. she got so angry at me, right? And she was like, she said, what? And if you think about it, we're all immigrants. I said, no, I'm not an immigrant. I was born in America.
Yeah.
She said, but really, you're an immigrant. I said, no, I'm an American. I'm a black American, but I'm an American. And I took it. I was testy with it, but because she could have messed up my hair.
Right. She could have cut your throat.
She could have messed up my hair. But it was okay. I just wanted to see what it was like. And in that place where they was cutting all these guys' hair, it was like there was no real talk like when we talked amongst men together in the barbershop. Like I was always.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know what I mean?
BSing used to stand for barbershop, bogus speech or barbershop talk.
I didn't know that.
That's what I heard. So, yeah, it's just shooting the breeze, if you will.
Yeah, shooting the breeze, amongst men,
Yep.
And even like, cause even when the women showed up, like women, when they showed up to the barbershop, sometimes they engaged in the conversation, but I remember a lot of females, they used to love watching us, and they would chime in sometimes, but they used to love watching us talk,
Right.
And so it looked like there's another reverse that I guess, that's taking part in our new generation that we're, being accustomed to, I guess.
Yeah, very true.
So
great points, man. I hadn't really considered that, but it's kind of like the town square, the public square, if you will.
Right.
And now it's being invaded. There's no women taking over everything. Wow, what a shame.
They're taking over everything. I want to say one more thing before I hang up, because I'm about to go catch this movie real quick. This is about the Black Israelites. I didn't know what they were until I looked them up. Yeah, I think that idea came about around 1989 or something like that about Israelites. I don't think they recognize how much white liberals actually love them, because as long as they keep talking about white supremacy, white supremacy and black inferiority and the white man and black man, I think they don't understand how much liberals love them, because it keeps black people dumb and ignorant.
Oh, yeah, interesting point, man. I mean, they just adopt these crazy ideas. They are called, sometimes the Israelites are called hate groups by other hate-filled people who hate whites, like the SPLC and all them, because they are like so-called black supremacists. But, I mean, everybody's...
Yeah, black supremacists.
But honestly, like, people just swallow lies, and they're deluded, and and yet these Israelites, so often they'll have like moral values that they tout, but they still hate. They hate whites, or they take on an identity that's not real, and it's misguided. Interesting point, man.
That is, and as long as they keep spewing their rhetoric, because again, I listen to some of them because I think they believe in the family,
right?
And they do call out a lot of white liberals. But I was also thinking in this context. Let's say if there was a Hake, there was a debate between Hake, the black preacher, the white liberal, and the Israelite, right? The white liberal will most likely side with the black Pentecostal and the Israelite, and then try to turn everything on you because you're saying that racism doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And then so I look at it in that framework too. They love the black Israelites more than what we expect, because it keeps black people looking for some type of identity instead of being individuals.
Yep. Very true, man.
So
interesting point. Good to hear from you, Greg. Appreciate your call.
Yeah, good to hear from you too, man. I usually get at you on the what's that called? Telegram. Yeah, I usually try to talk to you on the Telegram and all that.
Nice.
So I'm always following you and Jesse, and y'all guys are doing a great job, man. I love the both of you guys. I'm so appreciative of y'all, and being aware of what's going on in your head is interesting, because you sit there like, where all these thoughts come from, But anyway, so thank y'all for what y'all do.
Yeah, thank you, Greg. Great call. Take care. Call me again.
Hey, man, you have a good day, all right?
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Taking care of business says Chris only has her cut his hair for the sushi and egg rolls. I don't know if he does that. I'm not sure if he's into sushi or egg rolls. But he is cosmopolitan. He said it himself. Although that's the only cosmopolitan thing about him, though. Other than that, nationalist. Lin Yen Chin with the super chat here. Ask skateboard white Chris if I can visit the Ethnostate in the unveiling ceremony for his line of giant robots. Also, nation is nation because of consolidation of the ethne, aka race, which is the nation, is identified by, i.e. Chinese, Russians, French. So, Chris, can he visit the Ethnostate in the unveiling ceremony for your line of giant robots?
Yeah, for special events and vacations, things like that. They're allowed.
We will grant a vacation visa for them.
Yeah, it'll be very costly, but they are allowed.
All right. Yeah, Big Bump asks the same thing. Speaking of, ask Chris, do I have residency? Whoa, he's asking for a lot. In the Ethnostate. Big Bump.
Yeah, Big Bump. Big Bump can come.
Okay,
that's
nice.
Fine. It's a short list, but Big Bump is on it for sure.
Yeah, we don't want to get carried away. Okay, John WX25 says, so America is divided into two countries, BLM and illegals on one side, and Americans that don't want to live with them. Which side do you think Libscum White would choose? How about Tony, Jeremiah, and Mays would choose? I think everybody would want to come to the white side, is my guess, including the crazy people. That's my guess. I could be wrong, though. Man. Okay. Let me get to Marlo in California. Marlo is on the line again. Marlo in California, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing fine. Thank you. What's up?
Yeah, I saw your show yesterday too, so I wanted to say thanks to Alexander, because I want to take his spot for giving it up. I'm not a POC, but I'm a POW, prisoner of war. But I actually wanted to.
Why are you thanking Alexander? I didn't catch what you said.
Because he gave up his spot on the show.
Oh, he gave up a spot on the show. Oh, okay. Yeah, I asked him not to call for a month, and he accepted that challenge. So, okay, yeah. Thank you, Alexander, and you're welcome, Marlo, on Alexander's behalf. And you said you're not a POC, you're a POW, prisoner of war, instead of person of So-called color?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? A prisoner of war?
Nah, this is a joke.
Oh, okay. It's a cool joke. It's clever.
I just think the left is funny. Like, who even thinks of POC? Like, you know what I mean?
I know.
They should be talking about the POWs, actually, instead of the POCs.
I know.
Fighting for them.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it. But, yeah, I just actually gained that. I just wanted to talk about all the, like, euphemisms. You know, maybe now that I think about it, POC is probably a euphemism for immigrants, illegal immigrants.
Kind of. It's a euphemism for anti-white, that's for sure.
Oh, definitely.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't have actually that perspective, so I do enjoy your show with that.
Nice.
I'm not white.
You're not
so,
white,
you know,
but you are not anti-white either.
No, and I do definitely see your perspective, and no one, like, shows them the thing. Like, no one knows there is kind of this anti-white sentiment, you know?
Even though it's staring them in the face.
Exactly. No,
Yep.
literally. Yeah, But so that's why I want to talk about euphemisms. Actually, no one talks about how we're talking about, like, I don't say abortion, I say induced miscarriage. So I think, like, the game is Scrabble, basically, you know? And, like, no one's playing Scrabble, except for the left. They actually invented Scrabble, probably.
Scrabble? Okay.
Yeah, it's so annoying. Scrabble, it's like words. It's a word game, which is Scrabble.
It totally is. They soften the language. They call it reproductive health care and, all kinds of lies.
Yeah, so another euphemism. So everyone knows what a miscarriage is. Everyone knows, like, the pain women go through a miscarriage. Abortion is just induced miscarriage. Like, that's so easy. Boom. Argument over. Like, I don't get it.
Okay.
And then also I realized how, like, the government has literally been BLM since day one. Like, why don't we talk about how Harriet Tubman is basically a coyote? Like, is she not?
Yeah.
Like, is she not a coyote? Like, what? Like, smuggling people? Like, what is that? And now that's moved to the southern border, to Mexico.
And they're trying to put her on the $20 bill, aren't they? Didn't they try to put Harriet Tubman on the $20
bill?
bill?
A coyote, a criminal, on the $20 bill. You're 100% right.
Wow.
I didn't even know that.
You are a smart woman.
Do not tell me that. I'm trying to let my ego die.
Oh, yeah.
But, no, I'm just kidding. Thank you. I appreciate that. Someone told me, just learn how to say thank you. And I said, okay, that's good advice.
Nice.
A man told me that. But, yeah, so and then my real question was to tell you, actually, I think that's all the euphemism I got. I don't know. But one thing I did want to ask you is, like, I am a proud non-trans woman. So as a proud non-trans woman, I don't know if I should, like, just lead by example, like, be quiet, just, you know, do what's right. Like, I don't know what to do, so I've just been doing nothing. Okay. But I see, like, the number one most endangered species on the planet, which is the human race, like, is dying right in front of me. So I'm like, do I, as a woman, speak out, or as a non-trans woman, speak out against women's rights, a.k.a. reproductive health care?
Right.
Or do I just do nothing? Because what you said was so right, how, like, no one takes these women seriously. Like, they, like me, I have a squeaky voice. Asthma Dwarf in the chat doesn't take me seriously. No, he doesn't even he should probably actually take his own advice, by the way. Anyway.
What advice
I don't know
was
how
that?
to give a super chat to learn to not think for himself.
Okay. I don't remember what
he
said.
I don't know. I need to learn how to leave a super chat because I don't know how to do that.
Okay.
But
so
anyways.
that's step one.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that. But
okay.
Oh, that's step one. Okay, nice. Yeah, I don't know how to use technology. I guess is that step one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know because no one's gonna take me seriously because I also have a squeaky voice, no authority.
Right.
And I'm just like, why does you know? Yeah.
I think
so
it is. I think it is good to be quiet. It is good to. I mean, every now and then there's a time to say something, but don't get carried away with it. Bless you. Salud.
Okay. Like those women that are.
I think it was Brandon. I think it might have been Brandon M. who had advice for you, not Asmodor.
Okay. Well, I know.
Do you remember what was said? Because I don't even remember what date you specifically called in. And
it was last Friday, last week, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's actually good. Like, those women that are speaking out to school meetings, like, do you think they should just, like, find, like, a guy to help them lead and, like, speak out for them? Not for them, but, like, you know? Like, why do they want to be the face of it? Like, can't they find it? Like, you know how they, another criminal, what's her name? I don't even know her name. The girl that said, I'm not going to stand in the back of the bus, where everyone knows the back of the bus is the best seat. But
right.
What's her name? I forgot her name, but whatever. She is also a criminal. And then I remember hearing from Jesse on the JLP show that they actually found a woman, but then she got knocked up. So, like, okay, we can't have her be the face of it. So they found another woman to be the face of it.
Yep.
So, like, why don't these women find a guy to be the face of it, you know? And also men, a lot of men are in support of abortion. Like, they want the woman to get an abortion.
Yeah, in some cases that is true. Oftentimes they don't want the woman to do it. I found it, Brandon M. He's like reiterating. Oftentimes the men don't want the woman to, but sometimes the males.
Sorry, Asmodor.
Do want. Yeah, you maligned Asmodor. Okay, so Brandon M. says, I called her a paint-huffing ditz who watched too many Robert Seffer videos.
I don't even know who that is, but thank you. Now I'm going to look him up.
Oh, no. Knowledge is poison, lady. Knowledge is poison.
I know. I like your shirt. I need to get that.
Yeah. That's step 2. Step 1, learn how to super chat. Sepper. Thank you.
Okay.
Sepper videos. Sepher or something like that. Folklore videos. Robert Sepper folklore. I shouldn't be tipping this to you. Don't be seeking after that stuff.
Okay.
He's an anthropologist.
Yeah, I don't want to make too much of your time because I know the show's almost over. So
yeah.
You get someone else. But thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for the call. And I wish you well, Marlo. Take care. Step 1, women not correct men. Step 2, chimping is needed to correct women, says Commander Kim. Or putting the chimp down. Robert Sepper lives in L.A. or Louisiana? Is he a Mumbles guy or is he a Los Angeles guy? I guess a lot of Louisiana people talk with a mumbling thing is what I hear. Los Angeles. Okay. Quick super chat from your girlfriend. Says, to be fair, salons and barbershops are different. Makes sense that a woman would excel in a salon environment. I do see a lot of manly lesbians in barbershops. To the caller's credit, to his point. Wow. Man, that's awful. Before I get back to the calls, Joe in Portland wants to talk about the women invading the men's spaces. I briefly want to touch on this federal land grabs. The far-left female run outlet, The Skim, reports, oh, what is this? What did I see? 12%. 12%. That's the percentage of U.S. land that is permanently, quote-unquote, protected. Yeah, right. National and state parks, wilderness areas. It's not just federal land grabs, it's state land grabs, too. Wildlife refuges, etc. These far-left ladies say, ideally, we'd get that number up. 12% is not enough for these land grabblers. I got that word from Owen Benjamin. Walmart's already on it. Back in 2005, Walmart, far-left enemies of America, Walmart. Did you know that? It's true. Commie capitalists. Subverted. They teamed up with National Fish and Wildlife Foundation to create Acres for America, a public-private partnership that aims to conserve critical habitats for plants and wildlife, create more opportunities for people to enjoy the outdoors. So far, protected more than 1.6 million acres of land across the United States, so-called protected. And it takes multiple teams to make that happen. And so they're promoting that stuff and talking about 3 incredible women who have dedicated their careers to sustainability and conservation. Please. I remember the Bundy Ranchers, and I don't know much about those Bundy Rancher guys. I watched a little bit of them. Cliven Bundy seemed like a decent guy. Ammon Bundy, maybe too, I'm not sure. And some of those other guys. Lavoy Finicum, who got himself killed by the feds or by Oregon State Police, I'm not sure. I think it was the feds. Over in Oregon at the Oregon Preserve, and down in the Nevada ranch. Harry Reid, the Democrat with the black eye from Suspicious Circumstances, or maybe he fell on his treadmill. I don't know. But Harry Reid, the weird Democrat guy, sleazy guy making deals with China, selling off our land, and the federal government and state government, BLM, Bureau of Land Management, not to be confused with Black Lives Matter, but also evil. Bureau of Land Management, trying to take up the land, and it turns out the privately run land is better run and better for the birds and things than the publicly run land. Because those people who have their jobs, they stay paid anyway. What a mess. They want to take up more and more of the land. In my opinion, this is not a good idea. I don't know the situation, but I tend to trust like the local landowners, the people over there, over the government. Maybe there's occasionally the government might have a good idea or a point, but come on. I wanted to get that out there. Maybe some of you guys know and can enlighten us further on that stuff. It's ridiculous. Before I get to Joe in Portland, let me just talk. I do have this systematic racism debate or systemic racism debate coming up. Show this screenshot and then zoom in towards this chat because it's funny. Is systematic racism real? Debate. April 22nd, 4 p.m. Pacific. But catch Nick's stream, guys. Hake versus Hunter Avallone. And this will go up on audio podcast, and you can catch it later, too. And this is so typical. I'm looking at the chat. Two white guys discussing if there is systematic racism. Oh, the irony, says this guy who calls himself Bored Alchemist. Oh, the irony. Two white guys discussing if there is, because the pretense is that blacks are the victims. Give me a break. Some guy said it should have been an actual justice warrior against Hunter. Whatever, Mr. W. And then Lots of Stuff, a person named Lots of Stuff says, the promo image makes me instantly think, but that's two white guys debating about systemic racism. I mean, anyone can have a say about whatever they like, but let's be honest, this is a bad look. And I said, it's not there, but I said, honestly, white men are often more clear-minded on these issues. What'd I say? They don't have that baggage of victim brainwashing that the blacks have. From childhood, generations of that dumb brainwashing. No, blacks don't know what they're talking about with racism stuff. Unless they've overcome it, like JLP. Unless they've overcome their issues, their false judgment, their projection. And whites, too, got to overcome it, because clearly if Hunter thinks that racism is real, he himself is a sucker. We shall see, right? By the way, Name Them says, they do not want private land ownership, nor do they want self-reliant citizens. Yeah. See? Land grabs. Hake is getting a thumbs down for calling Sepper folklore. I was just reading what somebody said. I was reading what Brandon M. said. And he is an historian. He is a resident historian. So I trust him. I'll take that thumbs down. Let me get to Joe in Portland, Oregon. PDX. Joe in Portland, thank you for calling. What's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Going well, thank you.
Good to hear. Yeah, I just wanted to comment on the caller who was talking about barbershops, women barbers. I agree with him. In general, I agree with him that women are trying to invade, and they are invading traditional men's spaces, and it's not right, and we shouldn't let it happen. And I cut my own hair too, and but when I used to go to a barber, I used to go to this place they had several barbers working, and I noticed that a woman showed up to be a barber, and I didn't like that. Men's spaces need to be left alone. It's important for men to just be able to talk amongst themselves and without women there, And when men get together, it's like we can say whatever we want and use whatever kind of language we want and be rude and crude and all that. And if women are there, then that changes the dynamic. It changes everything. That's not good. We shouldn't allow women to invade men's spaces.
I agree, man. I remember JLP went to maybe some other state, and protested against this evil woman, this well-known feminist or old-school feminist woman, who was protesting against, like, the country clubs, these private clubs that men-only clubs.
Yep.
And he was like, get out of here, woman. So,
yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, I remember over the years, since I was a kid, hearing about that, these feminists wanting to make these men's clubs allow women in, and that's just not right. That is, the more women get in power, the more stuff like this is happening.
Yeah,
and it's not good. Definitely not good. It's part of the downfall of our great country. Our once great country.
Yeah, seriously, man. I appreciate it, Joe.
Yeah.
No explanation needed. Man says men only, it's men only. End of discussion, says Chris.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, the women have their spaces.
I know.
Women have their little clubs and their salons and their this and their that. Men aren't complaining about that. There's no men saying we want to be allowed.
Although we don't like these women getting together, because women getting together is kind of a bad idea. Because then they talk and gossip and come up with bad ideas. Sometimes. So maybe we should.
Depends if they're,
meddling.
If it's
busybodies.
Talking about, busybodies. But if that's how women are. But if they're talking about,
we gotta chimp them down.
We got a what?
I read a super chat. Let me reread this super chat. It's an informative super chat from a woman named Commander Kim, whose husband apparently allows her to watch the Hake Report. She says, my husband has the term chimping. If owners are too nice to pet chimpanzees and don't occasionally beat them, the chimp will think they're the boss and will attack, maim, and even kill their owners. Therefore, pets, children, women, employees need occasional beatings, metaphorically speaking, perhaps, or whatever, for everyone's safety. So you got to chimp them down. You can't just say, oh, that's how women are. Because it's not natural for women to be allowed to just gossip. You gotta put the smack down.
Well, I mean, I think women should be, as long as they're talking about what women should be talking about, then it's okay.
Yeah,
right. If they're talking about trading recipes and how to please their man, and how to clean the house, and stuff like that, take care of the children, that's all good and fine.
Right.
And women have and men don't want to be in those spaces.
Yeah, some stuff, you're right. Like midwives, a midwife should deliver the baby, and the man doesn't have to be there.
Yeah.
And she can tell her to breathe.
It's been that way forever. Women get together, men get together with themselves. But these feminists, mostly lesbians, they're trying to change all that.
Yeah.
It's not... It's wrong. It's just really sad.
Well, have a good weekend, Joe. Appreciate hearing from you. Call me again.
All right, brother. You take it easy.
You as well. Guys, I put some screenshots in the folder. Did you hear? It's Earth Day. Cringe. And I open up Google, right? Not that I use Google. I'm not saying that I do, because you're supposed to use other things. Start page on the Brave browser, maybe, or something. And this thing is pushing this fake idea. Oh, gosh, the polar ice caps are melting, I guess this is what it's supposed to be. 2000, or December 2000, and it's full of ice, right? It's like a satellite image, I guess, of some portion of land covered in ice. And then 2020, just 20 years later, the ice is gone. Oh, global warming confirmed. And then, they also have, see how Google Earth is helping address the impacts of climate change. And I commented, about how these women are such suckers. This skim says it's Earth Day as nature is hurting, and the evil UN claim the world isn't doing enough to limit global warming. Cyclones in southern Africa, floods in South Africa, killed 440 or more. 57 million people across Asia suffered climate disasters in 2021. Debris from U.S. hurricanes, wildfires, and etc. Health risks to local communities. More than 4 in 10 quote-unquote Americans live in counties impacted by climate disasters is the word they use this year. Dumb. Nature's fine. Sleepy Joe Biden, green is the new red. He's the green, right? Commie. Sleepy Joe pledged to cut greenhouse gas emissions in half by 2030. I mentioned in Hake News multiple times that he wants like half of new cars sold to be electric vehicles. And we get those, like the material for the electric, mostly from China, which restricts trade based on politics. The U.S. has officially rejoined the Paris Climate Accord deal, you know, what Obama got us into, Trump got us out of, thankfully. But Sleepy Joe, who is Obama, basically puppet, I think, or the administration, same administration, reaffirming its promise to limit global warming. Paris, COP20, which is a globalist thing. India and China weakened their pledges because they don't care to phase out coal use. More than 100 leaders agreed to address deforestation and slash methane emissions by at least 30% in the next decade. Low-income families are at the greatest risk from natural disasters. Scientists claim it's now or never. We have until 2030 or the impacts could be irreversible. Where's that autistic girl? Never mind, don't ask. So we have to phase out coal, cut methane emissions, which allegedly warms the planet 80 times more than CO2. So they want to limit the CO2, but they also want to limit methane. Planting more trees, which removes extra carbon in the air. They want people to travel greener, eat vegetables, not meat. Shop sustainably, reduce, reuse, recycle. And by force, right? Because some of this stuff, yeah, it's fine to do. It's maybe better for your health in some stuff, or some cases, or you don't just whatever. But these cringy women say the timer on climate change is about to ring. If world leaders don't get it together, the effects of climate change will be irreversible. We only have one planet. And it's top of mind for the midterm elections. Dumb, commie, atheistic, female-minded liberal males are all worried about climate change, and they want it to impact the vote, right? So dumb, so lame. I'm shaking my head. By the way, speaking of that propaganda, and they're brainwashing the kids with this stuff too. And last minute here, speaking of brainwashing the kids, and maybe I only have 15 seconds. Let me show this. I forgot to mention this Glendale LGBTQ schools propaganda. Glendale schools propaganda. I studied this sheet, LGBTQ plus support group, high and middle school students. Middle school is like kids, children. Student Wellness Services Director Dr. Eileen Magran. Join us and your LGBTQ plus peers. Discuss topics relevant to the LGBTQ plus community. This is sanctioned by the school. Access a safe space. Safe space. Receive support. Share your experience. And it's pushed by the Glendale School. Anti-Christian. GUSD.net, Glendale Unified School District.net/LGBTQ support. So evil, huh? So wrong. Anyway, guys, we are at the end of the show. Catch The Fallen State in an hour or so, right? In an hour, thefallenstate.tv. Catch Nick's stream, 4 p.m. Pacific time today. Catch Hake on Modern Day Debate. Is systemic racism real versus Hunter Avallone? All the stuff that indicates blacks' disproportionate suffering, it's their own fault, pretty much. Anyway, guys, thanks and take care.